Welcome back, friends. Game number 3 on the day. As you see on the screen in front of you, reality TV and Favelas going at it. And the question today, Cookies, we know they're in the playoffs, but reality TV, they got a promise to honor.
Yeah, that's quite frankly the biggest prize for them right now because we didn't talk about it. Zoom in on me. We didn't talk about it. Luminosity took the number 1 overall seed, guys, already. So reality TV can't play for that anymore. They're literally only playing for this promise that Mr. B, our highlight player, has given us an undefeated stage 3. Okay. And that, based on how serious Mr. B sounded, might be more important to reality TV than the seeding. Okay. So, are they primed? Are they ready to get it done? Because this screams trap game to me. Favelas, you would think this is the freest team they've had. You would think. But I guess we're going to find out today. We're going to see if Favelas is going to be upset material or not.
Well, Connor, we've been a little high on Favela. They started off hot this stage, and then things started to unravel, most recently against Vipers, where they dropped a pretty tough match. They were snake bit.
Yeah, they did not look good. That's just to put it blunt. They did not look good. They looked uninspiring. They looked lost at times. This is a team that has had some good showings overall. When they actually play as a team, things actually get done. Arrow, he's been an interesting player. Just a couple of stages ago, he was the number 1 rated player in Challenger League. And now he's not necessarily doing the best. He had a little bit of a fall from grace, but he still gives a sort of flash every once in a while that you go, oh yeah, he used to be really good. This is why. It's not surprising that he's going and hitting a 1v3 or something like that, or hit some disgusting shots. Or overall, with his team from a supporting role, is still able to get involved in the frag department, as well as do the nitty gritty, droning people in, making sure breaches don't get open, or they do get open.
Well, here's the thing. You talk about flash. Some of these players, we get occasional flash, some rounds of some games, but Cookies, when we're talking about reality TV, we get flash from every player, every round of every game, and that's a tall order.
No, we don't.
Okay.
I'm looking at their stats
I'll
right
stop
now.
talking then.
I'm looking at a game where maybe Tristan doesn't have the flashiest stats, or he isn't too litty. But you know who's consistently been just a biblical beast?
I wonder who you're gonna say.
It didn't really hit me till I looked at his statistics. Okay, he is plus 42. He's averaged 13.92. He's averaged about 14 kills a game. Okay, you know how we are in unprecedented times right now, ladies and gentlemen.
I hear he's got celebs blowing up his phone, including the likes of Gordon Ramsay. He's looking to open up a pasta shop with him.
Gordon Ramsay wants merch with Gavini. Like Jay-Z and Kanye are like in Gavini's DMs. There's people posing as Gavini in my unranked games. They're posing as his family members. I'm not even joking about that one. Okay, so it's like, how is anyone on Favelas gonna kill this guy? He's probably gonna hit 15 kills again. Bet on that. And my second point, they haven't even shown this isn't even their full power. They're not even Super Saiyan yet. They're fighting in base form. Okay, and he's plus 40. They're playing on the same maps we already knew they were good on. They're not showing off the Mr. B shields. If it's Crow casting this next, I don't know, but Crow knows what I'm talking about. Anyone that watches T3 knows what I'm talking about. He's a maniac.
Shield.
Yeah, Mr. B's a think tank. Okay, and we haven't even seen that, and they're still slapping me. Okay, so keep that in mind today and going forward.
Well, going forward is Favelas, and what are your thoughts on them for this one? It's an uphill battle.
It definitely is, especially if we go off of what we saw yesterday from Favelas, because the big play possibilities were very, very plentiful. It was just kind of creators can walk into site and get a 3K. They couldn't enter the building against a Maxily roam. And when you have somebody on the other team named Gavini, that's a very, very scary prospect to go up against because he can heat up fast. There's also a bunch more players on reality TV that will heat up just as fast as Gavini. For Favelas, they really need to just stay true. They just need to understand hey, we might not win a gunfight against Gavini, but he can't shoot in 2 different places at the same time. Let's play crossfires. Let's make sure we play these trades properly. Do not let these players from reality TV heat up, and they might find a little bit more success. And they'll also find more success if they do something very, very simple, and it's called droning. I'm begging that the droning needs to be better because yesterday on Clubhouse against, sure, maybe against a Vigil, it's a little bit hard to drone a Vigil. The attacks from Favelas looked absolutely lost. They looked so struggle bound, and it was very, very sad to see.
Sorry, I had to hide off screen. You're really trying to come up with this, like, because I couldn't. I had to hide my laughter. You're really trying to come up with the way that Favelas is beating Gavini. Hilarious. They can't.
You know,
It's
there
very
is.
simple.
They could maybe win in something that doesn't matter as much. I'm going to give another segue for you, Brim. What other way could they maybe win before the game starts?
Well, Brim,
I can't take you, Cookie. You
Brimstone.
spent that whole time off camera so people wouldn't see you laugh. I'm sitting here like an idiot,
Hey, you
giggling
can
and
move.
grinning
You can move. You're not like
at your little side
I'm
eye
not
over
gonna
there.
I was gonna make a Connor can't move joke, but you guys are in for a surprise. I'll just leave it at that. Okay.
I can
Listen.
I can kind of move.
Surprise is
Yeah, you guys-
Connor
you'll
can
see.
move.
You'll see. Okay, but more importantly, we're going to Kafe, and actually, you know how I talked about how, let's say, reality TV hasn't shown their cards. Well, Kafe hasn't been played too terribly often. Only one play at this stage, and I'm wondering just to what extent, are we going to see the craziness? Because I don't know if you guys play the same Kafe I do. Both these teams play Kafe once.
Mm-hmm.
Kafe can be very organized and fork and knife, or people can be flying out of windows and peeking everything. Which one do you think we're gonna see?
I don't think we're gonna see a very organized reality TV versus. Yeah, and last time we saw reality TV on this map was actually against Mr. Papa P's, Mr. Poison's Nocturnes, where they got smacked, I believe 7-0 or 7-1.
That was fraudulent. That wasn't a real game.
Hey, it might have counted, but other than that, seeing that your critical point, CJ, was, they haven't even shown all their cards. Like, they could go, like, Super Saiyan, like, 1, 2, 3, or 4. Like, they could go up to the moon. And now they go in the map that they've permabanned for the last, like, 7 play days. Maybe they just wanted to show the ace up their sleeve.
No! Connor, you just answered your own question. If they haven't played it since they got 7-0'd, and they're playing it now...
They're trying to show an ace up their sleeve.
No, I think they're just memeing us, too. I think they're just like one shot. They're no better.
Well, I think they need to get into the game because all of your questions need answers, and they're going to answer that right now on Kafe. So we'll throw it over back to the casters, and we'll get into it.
Exciting to see Kafe in the mix again, Carter. Clearly, you're excited about that. We don't get to see this map very often anymore.
No, we don't, especially a Kafe where probably I don't want to say this, the appetizer, maybe even the entree, depending on how quick this game goes, will be Gavini, or maybe somebody else. Could be Mr. B. Could be any of the number of shooters reality TV have. Playing aggressively on Kafe, maybe not hopping out of windows, but if I have to fight Gavini behind Pixel Shield, I would turn off my monitor. I would throw my PC into the pool if I had to do that. And that is what I'm worried that Favelas will have to deal with. I don't know if droning will be the biggest issue on Kafe, but if it's coordination that we're worried about with Favelas, I'm worried the utility clear either might not be coordinated enough, or it might not even reach a point where it can happen if they're fighting Gavini behind a shield.
All right, I mean, Kafe is one of these 3-floor maps that absolutely punishes attacking teams who don't have a utility clear, a map clear down to a T, right? They need to have it so incredibly organized, so incredibly refined, or this map, and as an extension, your opponents are going to beat the life out of you. And with reality TV starting on the defensive side, this could get nasty very, very fast. But we could also see on the complete other side of things, we could see a very competitive game, and the Favelas could come out swinging, and they could come out showing us that they are going to be in this fight for good. Still a toss-up with what kind of map we've got in front of us, because we can't read too much into these bans we've got in front of us. They are pretty standard as far as Kafe bans go. I'll focus on the defensive bans here, Carter, because they are especially impactful at limiting what the defensive teams can do, right? You don't have that extra intel from the Valkyrie, and you can no longer play as fluidly along this map as you would be able to if you had the Kiba barriers, if the Azami was left up.
if you're defending Bar Cocktail, not having that Azami on the board, you're going to have to defend this a lot more traditionally. You can't have an Azami playing aggressive or constantly blocking windows or putting up new effective deployable shields. You got to deal with one of the old reliable strats. Are you going to hold Pixel with some ADSs and magnets? Or are you going to hold Cigar and play inside the Humidor? And it appears right now that latter strategy is what Reality TV are going for. They got the castle, they got the Aruni. See that double door right there that's Rooney barricaded? I bet you $25, all the money in my pocket, against all the money in yours. Reality TV will put a castle barricade on that double door, and we'll have someone, probably Packer if I were to hedge a guess, playing inside the Humidor not only to waste utility and time, but also to deny some drones for the Favelas, which could be problematic. The Favelas have not fixed a lot of their drone game between yesterday's Playday and today.
The good thing for the Favelas is that this is not going to shock them, this particular setup, and even if their drone work is insufficient, they could get a bit aggressive early and completely change the game. Rudy tries to just send it in. Goes for the longest range Amaru you are ever going to see with that Gara hook across the map, but Rudy does not get it done. It's going to be, well, Tristan to deny that right off the bat, and, yeah. He is gone. So I love the early aggression, you know, I love that kind of mentality. Unfortunately for the Favelas, it's not going to work too well.
I suppose, thankfully, it wasn't an operator who really had a lot of utility to deal with this. I mean, maybe had some flashes, potentially, but beyond that, you're still going to have a lot of the operators you need to clear this out. The shock drones, the frag grenades. All right, well, those are both gone. So the shock drones, the lifelines. That's it now, unfortunately, and, well, Favelas haven't entered the building, so... Well, Jonah, this looks like it's going to be a quick one to start out.
Yes, at least this first round is pretty much wrapped up already with so much utility, the focus of this defense, and with, well, the lack of utility characterizing what remains on this attack. Yeah, it's pretty much perfect. So Arrow is now the last player standing. Now that Bio and his shock drones are off the board, thanks to a lovely triple kill from Mr. B, Arrow is, well, appears to be regrouping on the roof for now. Gonna use this opportunity to take a bit of a pseudo-tack timeout and discuss whatever they want to do in the next round, Carter. But I suspect that whatever happens in the next round, it's going to have something to do with maybe not an Amaru launching herself into the window right off rip.
You know, one would hope. One would hope that, Jonah. And I think I'm reasonably confident that that won't happen. Mr. B is struggling right now how to spell Jeopardy. That's quite funny. But I don't know. It's kind of hard to say because, like, obviously they're not going to go with an Amaru again. Beanie will put a final nail in the coffin on that one. It's kind of hard to talk about because, like, obviously they're not going to do that again. At least no reasonable person would think they were going to do that again. And now that Reality TV have one cocktail, probably going to go down to either Kitchen or Rating. In this case, it'll be Kitchen. And now we basically have to treat this like it's the start of the game. Because there isn't a lot to take away there, except that Reality TV were getting aggressive, and Favelas gave away an opening pick in a quite silly way. One of those we already knew was going to happen, and the other, hopefully, will not happen again. So what can we expect on Kitchen, Jonah? Well, perhaps with the lineup Favelas are going for, we see a Thatcher, of course, unbanned, as Flores and Nook are our two bans. Could be a direct take now that you have that Thatcher on the board. You know, open up that bakery wall if you want, rotate up, deal with the vertical later on in the round. That's certainly an option. Something they could go for if they wanted to.
Well, I think you highlighted one of the biggest dangers that teams face when facing Reality TV, right? And that danger is if you give Reality TV any early ground, if you allow them to get that opening pick on you or just really get any kills, they will ramp up the aggression and ramp up their confidence in the round exponentially. We saw it in round number 1, right? We saw how they got the opening pick because Rudy just sacrificed his life. And from that point forward, Reality TV was like, okay, we can afford to take a gunfight. And then Mr. B wins 2 gunfights back to back. Therefore, the rest of the team's like, okay, now we can afford to take more gunfights, and so on and so forth. That's what the Favelas need to be so careful of, especially on a map like Kafe, where there can be defenders stationed every which way, and if you allow them to get the opener, especially on a site like Kitchen, immediately Reality TV will make that decision and say, you know what, we've got this control. Let's spread out on this map even more. Let's stay in VIP. Let's stay in Whiskey Bar. Let's retake Big Bakery. As you're seeing right now, that's where the focus for the Favelas is going to be.
We see Arrow go, oh not Arrow, excuse me, Bio go all the way over to VIP, clear the shield bottom white early on, and now full focus on clearing the bakery shield. Not only do you destroy that, you down Mr. B, now start taking fights with the players playing aggressively on that bakery wall. I like this different look we're seeing from Favelas. Not letting Reality TV just assume their setup is fine. They gotta be careful that players like Slothy don't catch them off guard. Right now, Favelas are meeting the aggression of Reality TV blow for blow. It seems that Reality TV might just have the knockout punch as we move up 4-2.
Oh yeah, I mean, Favelas threw the first punch, and then Reality TV, they whipped around and just, oh, they pummeled them into the dirt. It's Arrow and it's Baring, the last two standing. Baring getting lit up here, he's not even sure from where. It's the long angle from Packer deep in the site to do it, and it is Arrow, the next player in Packer's line of sight, to close out the round. I think that was 2 from Gavini, 3 from Packer, a round dominated by simply Reality TV swinging, and the Favelas losing gunfights. They may have started off hot, but they certainly cooled down.
I said I liked the different look that Favelas were giving, and that was true. I did like it. I liked it quite a bit, actually. Take that bakery control very quickly, especially with the wall open. But what I was hoping we would see was then Favelas would start to pull back a little bit, not push too far. And in this case, they did push too far a little bit. Some even pushing directly in front and into that hole made in Bakery and walking right into the defensive crossfire on site. And some of these things, some of the deaths that Favelas had weren't entirely their fault. I mean, Slothy opened main door, and then Gavini turned 180 degrees and killed him. That's just something that's going to happen, I guess. But beyond that, Favelas got some very solid control, cleared out the VIP shield, got an entrance into Bakery, and then I think fully committed or pushed too far in Reality TV setup instead of maybe holding back and taking their time to gain some more.
Well, the Favelas, after a learning experience through the first 2 rounds, will hopefully take what they learned with them for the remainder of their attacking half. Theoretically, the easiest site that they will have to approach now is going to be Mining and Dining, rather than its similar first floor site counterpart of Dining and Reading instead. Looks like Reality TV are going for the lesser played site, but one that can often be defended in a similar fashion with a good bit of vertical control, and as we've seen from Reality TV thus far, a good bit of aggression as well. They've got to be careful. The Favelas have to be careful about the runouts from Reality TV, about any aggression that they might be throwing their way. But at least for now, Favelas can turn their focus into clearing out this top floor, because that is where the majority of this Reality TV defense lies.
We've already seen a run out. Somebody ran out down through that pillar door just below Giddy, as you can see right now. But Mr. B didn't find anybody, as there is nobody currently on white rappel from the Favelas. Everyone focused on taking this red stairs control and taking an early fight with Giddy. Not meeting a lot of pressure at the moment. Nobody on the cocktail rappel, nobody behind him. Right as I say that, Gavini smokes Slothy off the face of the planet. He gets a 5v4, hopefully, before he's finished off.
He just fully 180'd and won the gunfight even after there were 8 or 9 bullets in his back. I mean, that's ridiculous. Gavini off to another tremendous start on Kafe here. Tristan now, the next player to try to make an impact, whips out the bailiff at this range. What? He manages to down Bio. That's nice. He'll lose his life as a result, thanks to some good coverage from Arrow. But oh my goodness, chaos in the early round here in round number 3. Bio's been picked up, recovered, so that will return us to an even 3v3 as we enter this last minute.
And given how biblical that turned, or how Gavini turned the tides for Yada TV, still a 3v3. Not at all bad for the Favelas. They have vertical control. They don't have a lot of time, only 45 seconds, but 7 drones on the board right now. A lot of them likely stationed on flanks, and still some to be used actively to find these remaining players on site. With that vertical control, of course, you don't have your sledge anymore, but you have those breach charges all used by Arrow now to create these vertical angles. A lot of them over on that cocktail side, not a lot of pressure on the mining side either. Giddy off-site. Rudy now down below. Reality TV just have to play their positions and win these fights.
Well, they're about to approach dining. A smoke will block their path, and that's going to be a problem given the time. They're just going to commit to it. They're going to send it on in. Mr. B in their path, but now taken care of thanks to Rudy. Arrow on literally 1 HP will be now sticking this plant, but Giddy surprises them from the other side. They didn't know he was there, and they run out of time. Reality TV take another one, but this one, a very different feeling. Time to win out the round rather than kills.
I didn't hype it up a lot because I was like, oh, 7 drones for the Favelas. Giddy on flank. Surely they find him. Surely they're able to deal with him. They have the intel. Now, obviously, just because you have 6 drones, perhaps the white flank got shot. In all likelihood, maybe it was alive, but Favelas didn't have time to react. They flooded into mining with such low time. They're able to win the fight with Mr. B, but there might not just be a lot of time, especially when there's someone actively in train shooting at you to fully react to the white flank. I want to give credit to Favelas, though. If Gavini didn't World Star Slothy, that's probably a very solid clear for them, where they get a solid man advantage instead of a 3v3, probably a 4v3, maybe even a 5v3, and they're able to have that white angle work. So the individual skill from Reality TV on point, and then I think the Favelas, they were just low on time, or sometimes mistakes happen, gaps form, cost to doing business. It's a shame it, has now resulted in no rounds won for the Favelas.
Yeah, tough start to this Kafe map for the Favelas, 3 in a row. Losing them all in slightly different fashions. The first one by their own hand, far too aggressive on the attacking side. The second one by Reality TV just outclassing them. And the third by running out of time and not watching their flanks close enough. Hit the reset button, and hopefully the Favelas can do the same. We are back upstairs to Bar and Cocktail to finish the remainder of this defensive half for Reality TV. Slothy doing what the sledge does best, opening up these windows, removing these castle barricades from play. And truthfully, Carter, this will be the first time we get to see how the Favelas really want to approach a setup like this.
That's true. Rudy, not on Amaru, on Zofia this time. Love that change. Brings a lot more utility to the table. They want to go for this pixel clear. They can certainly deal with it. Of course, Mr. B, as you can see, got to be careful. This would be a powerful run out. He could easily kill that player on drone if there wasn't a Claymore right there. But he shoots it, gets back in. And honestly, since Mr. B committed to that run out, probably the best case scenario for that Jaeger is shooting that Claymore and making it back inside. Velas might be stunned for a little bit, might be a little concerned, but with a player on that white rappel and players on the cocktail rappel as well, or the Christmas rappel as well, this clear is looking good for Favelas so far, which actually have to start seeing some dominoes fall.
Yeah, we see those X-Kairos pellets going off, and that is always a good recipe for success. Opening up a few more angles, giving yourself another way to enter into the objective here. Watching Giddy on this angle, long-range fight with Barring. It's actually Rudy to open things up onto Gavini. Big fight there for him, but Packer claps back, sending Bio to the Shadow Realm here, returning us to a 4v4, but now himself, Packer, forced back deeper into the freezer as the pressure builds. He's now pinned in a corner, and Slothy will shut him down. That will free up the rest of the Favelas to work their way in and force these defenders to keep on backing up. Oh, Mr. B! The flank!
Just unfortunate timing right there. Everyone from the Favelas so focused on clearing Pixel, they once again, 2 rounds in a row, let an important flank slip by them. On the 2v2, Giddy has the angle. The 1v2 as well, Jonah. Makes it a 1v1. Case dropped on the floor. All for the Slothy to get Favelas first round.
1v1 with 20 seconds. Slothy's got to make a move at some point, but Giddy is just making this as hard as possible for him. He somehow makes it work, though, creeping around the other side of the long bar, getting that shot from the angle that was just not expected. So the Favelas will get on the board.
Favelas finally get one. And thankfully for us as well, everything before that Mr. B flank, of course, but even, honestly, after that as well. But everything before that flank, to be certain, was solid for the Favelas. Did they take a long time? Probably yes. Even before Mr. B's flank, they were down to 50 seconds. But they get Slothy on that white rappel. get players nading him from Christmas, or nading Gavini from Christmas, excuse me. Clearing his utility, forcing him back. He gets pinched. Excellent, not only to take down a key player for reality TV, but a key position as well. Sure, one falls to Packer playing aggressively in Bathroom, but again, Favelas set someone up on Skylight, able to take down that player as well. Very solid 4v3 by using utility and holding positions. The only problem so far, and it was the late round in round 3, and now in the mid round in round 4, those flanks. 2 huge plays, one of them round-winning, have now bitten the Favelas. And if they're able to clean that up, we could honestly have a couple convincing attacking rounds after that initial victory in round 4 for the Favelas.
Well, reality TV, they're going to likely go back to what they know. It's going to be a kitchen defense. They're not going to go back-to-back upstairs either, keeping the Favelas on their toes. Mr. B, though, will actually take a lot of damage early on. Very important that he stays healthy behind the bar in Bakery. But at, well, 50 HP now, that's going to be a lot harder, especially now that there's a blitz around the corner. Push in at any time. You combine that with Rudy on the Capitao, and you've got the fire and flames to shoot out his way in a second. Mr. B is in for a rude awakening very quickly, unless he has enough of these with my magnets to protect him. But as soon as this burn begins, this is going to get nasty. Gavini, the only player that can slow this down, and he will get a very important kill. That will allow Giddy to find another and remove Slothy from play. Goodbye, Arrow. That's Mr. B to step up. Giddy is still here too. What looked like utter disaster has quickly turned the corner. Mr. B gets another and last standing.
No nades either to maybe avoid a painful gunfight with Mr. B. Wamai only on 1 HP, to be fair. Still not a position you want to be in. Finished off by Giddy. I hate to say it, Jonah. I think Favelas might have just overcomplicated things a little there. For the play they wanted to do, they executed it fairly well. They smoke off the long angle all the way from, say, long bar or red stairs or coat check to allow Bio on blitz to hop in small bake and push Mr. B. That's fine. Problem is, Gavini gets aggressive, he Stewie 2Ks it, plays in the smoke, kills Bio. But we saw a lot of really good utility aside from the blitz. Nades, happy out bolts. Yeah, you'd have to burn all those magnets, but you have so much utility to clear out Mr. B. Am I wrong in thinking that maybe they should have just dropped the blitz, maybe brought another set of flashes or some smokes to burn those magnets, and then just try to clear Mr. B that way? Because when you have somebody hopping in like that and you don't have everyone saying, or anyone pressuring coat check to stop Gavini from making that play, you end up losing a round, which you had a lot of utility to win it a completely different way.
I mean, it's tough, right? Obviously, in retrospect, we know exactly what they should have done, but like,
that's true.
Thinking about how they would go on the drawing board, right? They're definitely going to be concerned about the pressure being applied from prep, being applied from small bakery as well, right? I mean, ironically, that's the pressure that did them in. But I imagine the blitz was not just there for Mr. B, it was for the additional support that he would inevitably have. The thing is, I mean, it turns out that the fellas were not prepared for that additional pressure. They did not have a drone in small bakery when that smoke went off, had no idea Gavini would be there, or was not ready for the swing from Giddy as well, from prep. It was like they knew what they needed to stop, but that very thing got them into so much trouble. I mean, it's really tough. I mean, when you know how much trouble it's going to be and you try to bring out all these weapons for it and it just falls completely flat, I guess now the last thing they can hope for is to recover that in this 6th round, their final attacking round, where maybe they can get at least 2 on the board before switching to defense, because you know, get off to a 1-5 start. That's not very promising, no matter how you spin it.
No, it is not. It's always difficult to come back from. Minute 15 in so far, but one thing that you'll always be happy, if you can clear out Packer without having to waste too much utility. All the nades gone, of course. Same with some concussions as well, and as someone drops, they are able to just take down Packer very quickly, but they try to shortcut it. Just try to clear out Pixel by taking a fight with Tristan. They end up paying for it. They clear out that forward player, they clear out Packer with that important utility, though it's already been used. But now they end up losing somebody to Pixel, and now they don't really have a lot of ways to clear it out. They have a good entry point. They've gotten some good control, but now they're sort of boxed in. Pixel in the hands of the attack. They're starting to move on to New Balk. There might still be some resistance to this plant from Rudy.
Well, here he goes. Pressure from Mr. B down below, a little bit too far, but Giddy's got the C4 to answer. Now Mr. B has a great angle to work with, so he can keep chilling down below. Barring though will change that as he surprises Gavini, surprises Giddy from the other side. That is beautiful timing. Just like that, it's Mr. B, the last player standing, not even on the site up above. Bio can plant anywhere he would like, so Mr. B's got to actually get back upstairs pretty soon. Slothy's going to keep an eye on this, and so Mr. B, he's in for a rude awakening the moment he steps foot on those stairs. That's exactly what the Favelas will ensure happens to close out the half. They recovered it nicely, 2-4, not the end of the world. They got their 2 attacks. They won them both on bar and cocktail after all, too. Pretty impressive.
And those 2 attacks overall looking fairly strong as well. And even in some of those rounds that they ended up losing, like the mining round, for example, they still looked fairly solid in terms of just playing off each other, able to coordinate, get opening kills, or clear out positions. So even though it was a 2v4, I think it could have very realistically been a 3v3 or a 3-3. So I think the Favelas can go into the defensive half feeling pretty solid about the game they played before that. Of course, sure, they kind of boxed themselves in, but they just recovered very well and adapted to flooding in through cocktail with so many players focused on that diffuser. Made some good advantage of the situation and the timing that was given to them. But as we move to cocktail, they seem to be running Jonah, almost the exact same setup that Reality TV will for, save for a couple changes here or there. I think instead of the castle and the smoke, we've got a mute and an alibi. Beyond that, I imagine Reality TV will be more than prepared and more than aware of how they want to deal with this defense, especially just playing it and knowing its weaknesses from the round prior.
Exactly, and the fact that they don't have a castle is a little bit more concerning because, I mean, in a setup like this, if you are going to play in Humidor, which it doesn't look like the Favelas are choosing to do, that castle is essential. So at the very least, that part of the setup is different, and that is good to see. If you try to play in Cigar without the castle barricade to block that double door, you're as good as from the moment the round begins and the moment one of these Reality TV attackers gets on that stage repel. So the Favelas have seen through that. They know what to worry about and what to be careful of. But Tristan, I mean, talk about reading into a play beautifully. He saw that coming from Slothy. He saw the alibi hologram, flickering a little bit. He knew that Slothy was close, and he took him out very cleanly.
Yep, just love to see that kind of reaction from Tristan. Keeping an eye out, not just assuming things are clear, that they'll be fine, but making sure that they don't end up losing the first pick to something, well, like that from Slothy. They can also now fully turn their attention to clearing out this pixel position. Here, flash grenades already being caught by ADSs, some nades going in to try to destroy the shields, and another pick by Reality TV from a Favelas player trying to get aggressive. He spots Rudy, breaking open that white barricade. What do you know? Shuts him down. Christmas control in the hands of Reality TV. Pixel, push that guy back to bathroom, and he's not long for this world either.
Oh, just a stinker there from Gavini. I mean, honestly, from all of Reality TV right now, they are making the Favelas look silly. I mean, just simply looking foolish because they are getting caught out. The Favelas are getting exposed in every single position that they could think of. They're trying to get creative here. Baring's now trying to put the team on his back, but Mr. B is going to deny it outright. Love the idea there from the Favelas, just trying to get super aggressive, trying to swing everything, but the moment that we saw Tristan read into that first fight, I mean, I think at that point we knew exactly that Reality TV were very prepared for whatever the Favelas were going to throw at them.
Able to read into it. Just beautiful. Just fully aware of what anything at all their Favelas could possibly throw at them. Didn't even really need to clear out a lot of those positions. I mean, the Uto clear was fine. They cleared out Pixel, but we didn't even need to talk about it. Because everything was just focused on Favelas taking fights and then losing them, or in the case of Bio, just getting sent to Mars, which isn't entirely his fault. So we'll see a change-up from the Favelas, and something we actually neglected to mention. It's been a talking point for a long time on Kafe, how often Mira is banned on this map. She's up. And Favelas decided to bring her. And I think, obviously, there were a lot more issues going on, but if Favelas want to play things a little bit closer to the chest and not have 2 people die in the first minute of the game, I think Amira is a good indication of that shift in mindset.
Right, trying to play a little bit more passive, a little bit for those anchor positions rather than for those aggressive plays. You can really play for the late round and play to waste time rather than anything in between. So good to see that adjustment. Of course, we'll have to see if it actually pays off. I mean, right now, Rudy is not in position on those mirror windows. He is tucked over on the white stairs for now. So we could see something else entirely from him, but only time will tell, because Reality TV, they still got to work their way up to this top floor and likely begin this clear the same way they started that last round.
Starting out over on Vent, propelling up to Christmas, clearing out the utility. Same steps, 1, 2, and 3, as before, like you said, Jonah. Exact same things. And nobody from the Favelas peeking them, nobody trying to contest them outside of these windows just yet, which is the right call. But someone gets aggressive, and that is not something you should be allowing for on reality TV. Kafe may be getting a little bit too far ahead of the pack, but nobody watching Pixel. The very shield they're trying to clear, Barring moves out from behind it, takes down your entry, and also, your other set of nades, yeah, that's gone as well.
Well, it's that element of the surprise that the Favelas tried to take advantage of in round number 7. It didn't work. They try again in round number 8, and there it is. This time, it's just much better timed to take advantage of that weakness. So 2 openers. Great start for the Favelas defense here when they need it the most. Of course, losing Barring to a nice little swing from Mr. B in the end, but still the Favelas in a 4v3 and up a body. The rest of this team now, this defense, has now backed off. 3 players in cocktail or just outside, and 1 on the white stairs. So everyone playing near the objective here. Nobody going for any more aggressive plays that will, of course, allow Reality TV to enter into this top floor, but it's not going to allow them to do much more than that. The Favela is still keeping a watchful eye on any position that Reality TV are trying to take.
Flash grenades going out. Kristen slowly creeps up. This could be the play to either make or break the round for Reality TV, combined with that white stairs push, and now those are the only 2 things left.
Oh, there's Bio. He read into that again very well. Packer was loud as he could be, working his way up. Tristan, the last player standing with Mr. B, finally finished off. He gets 1, but cannot survive the shot from behind. Well done there from Rudy once that position was telegraphed. So the Favelas will get on the board now that they've switched on to the defensive side, and they will start to narrow this gap. 5-3 still. Reality TV still looking good, but the gap, only 2 rounds.
I like the decision-making from Barring inside of Christmas. It's a very difficult position and a difficult balancing act, but he's waiting to be cleared. He's waiting, he's waiting. Probably gets a call that there's somebody inside a cigar, and he decides to take an opportunity. He doesn't see anybody watching him. It's very risky, and maybe not even the smartest thing to do, but in this case, no one from Reality TV was actively watching that position. They were either maybe on drone or below the window trying to cook a nade to throw, well, where Barring was. Then he rotates out, kills Gavini. Rudy also gets aggressive from inside the site and takes down Giddy on white rappel. The entire push from Reality TV just collapsed, and now if you want to fill those gaps, everyone has to now leave their spots and enter the building. So Favela's having a very solid early round with a huge risk taken by Barring, but one that pays off, and now they will not mirror Reality TV in their site selection. We saw Reality TV go to mining, but that was the 3rd site. Favelas, they seem quite confident to go to it as their 2nd choice.
Yeah, ignoring kitchen for now is a little bit unusual, but love the confidence there from the Favelas. They've clearly got something cooked up for this objective, and of course we can see pretty clearly at this point what that is. It's going to consist of a lot of vertical control, mostly in piano though, is what we're seeing from this setup. We don't see that cocktail extension like we normally do on this top floor. Instead, that defense mostly focused on that west side. Of course, some presence over in the cocktail side, and that is essential. That is of course where the hatches are, where it'll be easier to rotate back down, and where you can back off towards once the pressure in piano does start to build. But that's why we have to focus on the reality TV and this attack now to see if they're going to decide to clear all the way through this top floor or just get the bare minimum of control they need to prevent any sort of defender from positioning up above.
You just saw him on rappel, right?
I think so.
Okay, well, I'm amazed that no shots were fired until Gavini just moves into long bar and kills Slothy. Also shocked that Gavini is in long bar and just killed Slothy. But Gavini's that kind of player. If he finds an opening, he will take it. Reality TV already eager to push into the site. Hacker moving up white stairs. They haven't really got a lot of control, but they're getting a lot of these kills. And for Reality TV, as we all know, that might just be enough. They'll pull back for the time being. Don't want to overplay their hand, because they have lost Mr. B, but they are certainly egoing Favelas at the very least.
I mean, Rudy also tried to just ego chow on the mining window there, but Tristan not only claims that kill, but he will claim the second, taking down Arrow. Barring is so low on HP. Bio is not full HP either, and going for a bit of a reposition. So dangerous at this point in the round as Gavini will silence his final teammate. So it is all up to Biologic. 2-5 right now. He's going to have to get 4 more kills if he wants to win this one. Opportunity for his 3rd kill. Slips out of his fingers, and he will walk right into Packer now that his position is known. Another round for Reality TV, but this one will put them up 3, and it will put them on match point.
Good individual read by Gavini, realizes that a lot of those roamers that were playing inside of Christmas were either over by white, which, of course, if you're behind that pixel shield, logically, you're going to retreat down white. You're not going to, like, run all the way through. I mean, I guess Barring did that in the previous round, but different situation, different round. They're going to retreat down white once that other player who is playing a little bit more forward in Christmas moves away, whether down red stairs or in another spot. He drops down, moves in a long bar, able to get the first pick of the round and throw all of the Favelas defense into disarray. And that was the big thing for Reality TV in that round. Just able to read opportunities, and in the moment, make a decision, commit to it, and then go for it. And that is the dangerous thing about Reality TV that we have seen throughout this entire stage, is not only as a team, their ability to do that, but individually, their ability to make those plays work. Now, as we're 1 round away from a potential 7-3 victory over the Favelas, who haven't taken their tactical timeout, by the way. I just want that to be known. Unless I'm wrong, Jonah. Did I miss that?
Nope,
I don't think I did.
You did not miss that.
Didn't think I did. We'll now have to see them win 3 rounds in a row against that individual decision-making that hasn't just worked for Kafe, it's worked for 5 games that they've won entirely.
Yeah, Reality TV, as most people know at this point, still trying to stay undefeated. I believe, what, 4 regulation wins, 1 overtime win so far, and keeping to Mr. B's undefeated promise that he made at the very beginning of Stage 3. So far, so good, and the Favelas, while they may be putting up a fight in a few rounds here or there, they have not been putting up enough of a fight to really give Reality TV that challenge that has eluded them, other than that, I suppose, that one-shot game just 2 weeks ago. That was the overtime win that Reality TV took 8-6. So as far as this attack is concerned, they will start this one off very similar to the last round, with this top floor being their early focus. They know there are some defenders up here, and if they want to approach mining safely, they've got to take care of Slothy first.
Well, 2 players dealt with first, none of them being Slothy, but Packer goes down. Bio put on the floor, but none of those players were on the top floor roam. Slothy, he's still good. Barring, still alive and well. And as Slothy takes a fight, put down by Gavini. Reality TV have once again found that opportunity, but this one comes more based off of intel. They know Slothy's in Christmas. Gavini drops down, takes the fight. Barring also takes the fight, but he's likely going to need to fall off. Half the round is gone. It's a 4v3. You could still get aggressive on that top floor, but playing that aggressively, not probably the best decision. Waste maybe 20 more seconds, shoot some drones over by Cocktail, and then pull back. Try to deny Reality TV from getting that vertical control until the last possible second without overextending your hand.
Ooh, Barring, he's definitely overstaying his welcome here and just gets out of there. I mean, alive, but barely. His back nearly exposed. He's still able to make a pretty big impact on this round, though, because he spots Giddy as he just drops the skylight. One thing he doesn't know is that Gavini is crouch walking up long bar. I mean, that right there is type of play you're going to see from reality TV at this point. Mr. B with the follow-up blow onto Rudy just to dig the knife in deeper. It's match point, and Arrow needs to win a 1v3 if the Favelas want to keep themselves alive in this game. He's got the TCSG in his hands, so not the best weapon for a fight like this, and Mr. B will make that certain as he delivers the killing strike. It'll be another clean win for reality TV. 7-3 the scoreline. The Favelas just couldn't hang in there long enough.
Not their most dominant victory so far in Stage 3, as that goes to AQ, I believe, with a 7-2 victory that Reality TV got over them. But still, 6-0 for their record in Stage 3 so far, and Mr. B making good on his promise that Reality TV will go undefeated. And I feel like that game, it wasn't the flashiest Reality TV game I've ever seen. It was just a good example as to why they're so good and what they're doing that makes them so good. And I want to highlight just one specific play before we throw it back as an example. In that final round, you might have noticed it. Giddy hops down the skylight, Barring's in freezer, kills Giddy. Good play by Barring. Gavini watches his teammate's body hit the floor in front of him. And what is this dude doing? He's crouch walking up long bar. Does not care. Not even phased. Doesn't break movement, break cover, shoot a bullet. He's found his opportunity. Knows Barring is in freezer. Peek up, get the kill. It might have just been one small moment, but it was a lot of moments like that, especially on Reality TV's attacking half. That was, again, just one example amongst many for why they are the team that is 6-0 so far in Stage 3.
Yeah, those kind of small plays, they add up not only over a map, as we saw, but they add up over an entire stage, and that is why they have been so dominant. We'll throw it back to the desk, though, to give us the real answer as to why they've been so dominant. Take it away, guys.
I think Carter really stated it well here, Cookies, where there wasn't as much flash as we're used to from reality TV, but it was no slouch fest by any means either. I guess my question to you is that, do you think that this is around the time where, by reality TV standards, they're maybe playing a bit more, let's say, conservatively in how they approach the matches, that we don't need to give anything away, we just need to close it out?
Conservative is I will say this. Conservative is the last word I would use to describe.
I said by standard.
Okay.
By reality TV standard.
Quit the standard. The Mr. B standard is this. We got guys jumping down skylights, hitting nasty shot. I don't know what, matter of fact, I might disagree on another point. You guys are saying, was it flashy? Were you seeing some of the stinkers that Gavini was hitting and, what's his face? Woke Sippa?
Tristan was indeed.
There was a round he was just sitting outside a window. Sure, I guess at its precipice, that is not that crazy. But the shot he hit on Rudy on the bomb was just one of many biblical shots from reality TV throughout this game. And I said it in Twitch chat for the game. I would have been stunned if Favelas got more than 2 rounds. From round 1, they're Amaruing in as if they had no faith, no hope. And it didn't work out for them, if you didn't notice. Reality TV won that round. They won the first 3. And from there was really no doubt.
Well, what were your thoughts, Connor? Because apparently Cookies doesn't like any of mine.
Yeah, I don't either. So,
wow.
I wanted to highlight Gavini, not for the kills, but actually his entry. 3-1, he was in 4 entry engagements. That is his highest ratio that he's had his entire career. As much as we hype him up as one of the biggest fraggers, he's on entry rolls. Doesn't necessarily get those entry frags, that nice stat he can get in the building sometimes, but doesn't take a whole lot of entry engagements. He actually was doing it today, so good on him.
Okay, well, since neither of you like any of the things I say, hopefully Fettuccine does, because I'll flip over to talk to him for a bit, but you guys are no fun. Fettuccine, big win for you guys, continuing the ball rolling. What was your thought process going into a game like today where, not to knock Favelas, but they're not one of the higher, seeded teams in the league, but I do know you guys want to keep that win streak going. So how do you approach a game like this?
I mean, we treat every game the same, and I think one of the biggest things that helped us, especially after the one-shot game came that close, was the mindset that we're not here to defend our undefeated streak, right? We're here to fight for it every single time. Every game is just as important as the next one. So, they're just as much of a threat as any other team we played. So we like prepped for them accordingly, and we knew everything they were going to do.
Mhm. And you had all 5 guys hitting licks today. Did today feel a little more consistent? You know, I know you guys have obviously been winning. There's nothing more consistent than winning, but it felt like a solid effort from all 5 guys almost every single round.
I mean, that's just what comes out of games like this, I think. So this week we were specifically focusing on like pacing adjustments, especially against teams like that. And against a team like that, you could play slower and they just walk into your crosshair, right? You can't expect everyone to go off, because if you're trying to follow up on your teammates, then you gotta like have some people die, right? So today everyone could go off because we were just playing slower just to completely counter them. So we're ready for anything.
And as we get closer to the playoffs, are you gonna change up your approach with your team at all, or are you gonna stay consistent with how you do everything day in, day out?
One game at a time, right? We just focus on the next opponent. We focus on exactly what they crutch, what their weaknesses are, and we demolish them. That's all it is.
Perfect. Well, you must be looking forward to those best of 3s then.
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, well, I can't wait to see you. Thanks a lot, Fet. We'll talk soon.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too.
Shout out King Bob.
So that is 3
What did
down,
he say?
1 to go
King
on the
Bob.
day. Pardon?
He was shouting out King Bob, where they posted a video yesterday, and it was interesting.
Unemployment versus Vipers is the final matchup of the day. We'll get to that one in just a few minutes.